What this research and these experiences taught me is this: your soul cries out for purpose. You must live in purpose. And if you do not, your physiology will call you out. And yes, you can distract yourself by watching endless videos on YouTube about cats with Donald Trump's hair. You know what I'm talking about. You can distract yourself by playing golf like I had, and you can placate these negative emotions with substances. But eventually, your physiology will find you. And it might find you out in terms of burnout. It might find you out in terms of depression. It might find you out in terms of hopelessness. But eventually, your physiology will find you out if you do not live in purpose. And that's why tragedy is such a gift. Because it helps people, it forces people to live in purpose. Think about it. Tragedy shook these people and said, wake up, find your true self, live in purpose. It didn't shake these people and say, be more confident, go on a trip to Jamaica. Tragedy is a gift because it forces us to live in purpose. But you, I hope, realize you don't need tragedy. You don't need tragedy, but you do need to give yourself the gift of living in purpose. Purpose is the master emotion. Purpose is what we all seek. Purpose is what we all need. And purpose leads to all these wonderful, amazing, positive emotions. When we live in purpose, we are the most emotionally tough person. Let me give you an example of this. One of my favorite documentaries is Man on Wire. It won the Academy Award about 10 years ago. Did anybody see that? Great movie. And it's about a Frenchman living in France, of course. And when he was younger, he saw this picture of the Trade Center towers. And he said, I'm going to walk across those Trade Center towers on a tightrope. A little crazy. And so for 20 years, he mastered the craft of tightrope walking. He even joined a circus, and he got great at this skill. And as he got older, he went to New York 3 different times because going to the top of the Trade Center tower is trespassing. So he had to figure out a plan. So he got the plan, and the 4th time he got a team together and he decided he's going to shoot an arrow from one Trade Center tower to the other, and his team's going to catch it. So he shot 4 arrows, and they caught him, and they pulled the strings together because you need 4 strings or 5 strings to make that rope real tight. And he walked along the tightrope. And as he did that, everybody's looking up. Oh my God, there's a guy up there. Oh, and they're freaking out, and the thousands of people come, and the media comes, and the police come, and they say, we got to get that guy down. So they go up to the Trade Center towers, and they try to grab him, and he goes by him, and he kind of teases them, and he walks over here, and he's just teasing him for hours, and then he lies down on the rope, and he's doing all this crazy stuff. But eventually, he comes down. And the media mobs him, instant celebrity. And they ask him this question: why did you do it? What do you think he said? There is no why. There is no why. That's what purpose is. You don't do it for accolades. You don't do it for praise. You don't do it for money. You don't do it for fame. When you live in purpose, you do it because that is who you are. And because of that, he had amazing commitment to his task. He had amazing confidence. He had amazing courage. He had amazing peace of mind. Purpose gives you all these amazing emotions. And when you live in purpose, you will be the most emotionally tough person you could imagine. And people ask me, Greg, is purpose really an emotion? Think about this. You get out of the supermarket, and there's a lady there, and she has a sign that says, need food. And she has 2 young children. And you know this is the real deal. This is the real deal. And you usually don't do this, but you look in your wallet or purse, you take out a 20 and you give it to her, and she says, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. What do you feel at that moment? You feel purpose. You feel joy, you feel peace, but you feel purpose. Purpose is the master emotion. You must live in purpose. And when you do, you will be successful, you will be happy. When you create purpose in the center of your world, you will be the best person you can possibly be. Think about this: when you have a difficult client and he's screaming and yelling at you about some event and you had no cause about it, and it wasn't your fault, but he's screaming and yelling at you. But if you believe what you're doing has a meaningful impact on his life, all that anger towards you kind of just melts away. Or if you're a parent and you get home and your children are screaming and yelling and they're acting spoiled like usual, and you know that living in purpose as a parent is to make sure your children have integrity and they're going to create a positive impact on the world, then what you say to them and what you do, you're so committed to that. And you're so confident you're doing the right thing no matter what they say to you, because you're living in purpose as a parent. Or if you have a colleague that pushes your hot buttons, but you know together you're creating a positive, powerful impact on this conference or this business, those hot buttons aren't so hot anymore. When you create the center of your universe with purpose, you are the best person you'll possibly be. You will be the most emotionally tough person. And I want to explain to you how to put this in your life, how to live in purpose, because I know there's no way you're going to quit your job, create a charity, and go to Haiti. That's not realistic, but you can live in purpose every day. And I want to share with you how to do that. But before I do, let me just finish the Muhammad Ali story. Yes, it was about his blue bike, but it was also about his mama. Muhammad Ali loved his mama. His mama gave him so much purpose in his life. His mama worked 3 jobs, and he just loved his mama. And when that kid stole the blue bike, he was really stealing from his mama. And you don't do that. So when he stepped in the ring, he was really thinking, you stole from my mama, and I'm going to teach you a lesson you're never, ever going to forget. When Muhammad Ali filled his life full of purpose, he became the best person he could possibly be when he needed it the most. But I'm not asking you to be a boxing champion of the world. I'm not asking you to play bongo drums naked. We're all unique. I want to show you how to apply this to your world, to work. And a better example, I think, more realistic example, is with Mark Dansfield. Mark came to me about 5, 6 years ago, and he said, I'm so burnt out. I'm a financial advisor. I love my job. I make lots of money, but I'm just burnt out because everybody is getting on me about losing money. It was right after the recession. I just burnt out. And he said, can you help me? And I said, okay, Mark, tell me a time when you were truly inspired, a time you had a meaningful impact on others. And he said, well, you don't know this about me, but in my former life, I was Lieutenant Dansfield. And I was a medic in Afghanistan. And I helped surgeons. And one day they flew Private Williams to our makeshift ER. And Private Williams was the lookout. And he was in a Humvee on this top of this hill, and he saw his company being ambushed. So he rode in the Humvee as fast as he could, breaking walls, bullets flying everywhere, and his company jumped in. He saved their lives. But as he did that, 5 bullets entered his body. And he said, we operated on him for 5 hours. And I thought to myself, there's no way a guy with this much courage is going to lose his life. And he awoke. About a week later, he was in a coma. And when he awoke, he gave me the thumbs up. And I knew that to me was the most inspired moment in my life. And I said, why? Why were you so inspired? He said, because I was saving lives. And I said, you're still saving lives. You're saving economic lives now. And I said, let's create these primers for you. Your buzzwords are going to be saving lives. Your action's going to be the thumbs up. And the image, he had a picture of himself in his army fatigues. So I said, put that picture on your iPhone. And every time you feel like your emotions are taking a dip, you feel a little burnt out, I want you to say your buzzwords, saving lives. I want you to do your action, and I want you to look at your image. And that's going to boost your emotions. And it works because when you live in purpose, every day you will be the best person you're going to be. And let me just say this right now. So far, this half of the talk, I have created the stage. But we are all actors, and so you can no longer be a passive participant. You must be the active participant, and this is where your participation is key. So The first step is to talk about the life song triad. And it goes like this. Remember, the life song is when your life is aligned with your true purpose. But it starts with being aware. Being aware of a moment you were truly inspired and why. Just like Private Williams. I'm sorry, just like Lieutenant Dansfield. Why was he inspired? Because he was saving lives. And then you create notes to your life song, which are words, actions, and images. Because when you get squeezed, you will play your life song when it really counts. And you will be at your best. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to actually do the first step. So I was told there's paper, right, and pencils in the black box on your table. So everybody needs a piece of paper and a pencil. This is the participation part. Okay, so this is what you should do. I want you have to write this down because you'll see why it's essential. Just in 2 sentences, write down a time when you felt like you were truly inspired. You were truly inspired and you made a meaningful impact on someone's life. 2 sentences. Just go ahead and write down 2 sentences describing that event. And once you have that, you need to write down why. Why were you truly inspired? And let me just warn you, I'm coming into the audience and I'm going to ask you about this event. So, why were you inspired? Okay, just for the sake of time, I need to start with the participation part. So everyone knows in their mind, they already have it. So I'm going to ask, what's your first name? I'm sorry.
Agnello.
Agnello. Tell us the time you were truly inspired.
Well, I kind of draw inspiration every day, but probably the most inspirational time was just before leaving for college with my dad and just having a one-on-one conversation with him.
Why were you inspired?
Just inspired from, it was a moment of realization that he knew more about me than I did myself and was able to provide a sense of direction for me. So
right, you realized how an amazing impact he had on your life.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, okay, that's great. Couple more. Why were you inspired? Or what was the moment that you were truly inspired?
There's a lot of things that happen at work, and I'm not on property. I'm remotely based out here, so I don't always get to see the customers on site. But just hearing the stories that happen there really make me happy.
Why are you inspired? Why? Let me just say, why is the kicker. It's not just the emotions, but if you know why, then you have control over the emotions.
Probably because the clients are really, understanding the property and the historical nature of it, and they get it, so that makes me inspired.
Okay, great. Okay, one more. Tell us a time you're truly inspired.
Okay, it's kind of on a personal level, but I allowed my son's 13-year-old friend to come live with us.
Wonderful. Why are you inspired?
Because I gave him an opportunity at life,
exactly.
A chance.
Yes, wonderful, thanks. I think everyone in here, yes, everyone in here has their own story. I know there's been multiple times when you've been truly inspired. And if you know why, then you can move in the right direction. And when I coach people, I also talk to them about a time they were burnt out and why. And so we don't have time for that, but knowing the differences between those two really allows us to move in the right direction, and it gives us emotional awareness, true emotional awareness. But let me move on and talk about step 2, which is creating the primers. Primers are positive, powerful emotion emotional stimuli, like words, actions, and images, which push our emotions in the right direction. A song is a primer. A song can make you sad, it can make you really happy, and it can make you get up and dance when you're totally burnt out. I think you can relate this story to your lives. I flew into Hartford a couple weeks ago. I was tired. It took me 45 minutes to get the rental car. I had no idea what took so long. I finally get my car. I just want to get to the hotel, get dinner, take a shower, and just hit it. And as I'm driving there, I'm in traffic. And now I'm really getting upset. And then all of a sudden that song comes on the radio. And for me, it's Move Like Jagger by Maroon 5. I don't know, I love that song. And all of a sudden I start doing the finger bop and the thumb roll, and then I start doing the chicken. You know the chicken. And I don't realize it, but I get to a light and I'm still doing it. And I look, and it's a cop. And he's looking at me with that strange look. And I knew exactly what he was thinking. He was thinking, that guy is a hell of a dancer. So you get that picture. But primers greatly impact our emotions. So let's just do a couple fun exercises to prove this point. So let me first do the power of words. So I got to divide you in half, okay? You're group A, you're group B. Okay, don't forget your letter. A, B. Okay, so I'm going to show you a word. Okay, so group A, you have to look at the screen. Group B, turn away from the screen. Okay, group A, this is your word. Okay, now group A, turn away from the screen. Okay, group B, look at the screen. This is your word. Okay, everybody look at the screen. What are you thinking about right now? Quick. Okay, what was your word? Chicken. Okay, who thought soap here? Chicken soap. You need to see me afterwards. Okay? What was your word? Wash, right? You probably, I hope, thought soap. Words can greatly push our emotions, our thoughts in a certain direction. Words are the language of emotions. What if you are talking about a client and you say, this client always complains? You have a certain emotion, but you could still describe that same client as that client makes a lot of suggestions. Those words greatly impact your emotions, right? Or you say that client is very confident. What if you said that client is arrogant, right? Totally impacts your emotions. The power of words greatly impacts your emotions. So you must own the power to the words you use. Okay, let's do another one. The power of actions, all right? So everybody, group A, you must fake a smile, because I know it's going to be fake, so fake a smile. Group B, you must scowl and get that crinkle right here, okay? And here's the actual experiment, all right? Everybody look at this. The real reason dinosaurs became extinct, a Gary Larson famous cartoon. You get it? Okay, good. All right. The people who